but we'll just kind of go through it. I'm mainly just
there
checking to see.
Is there
So
enough
these
light
are
on?
my audio levels.
Yeah, those LED lights are great.
So we'll mic up, and then, yeah, just 3 simple questions. I'm going to start it with the introduction. So we'll shake hands and... Hi, my name's Joseph.
Hi.
What's your name?
Jim Joy.
Jim Joy. Nice. Pleasure. Thank you for doing this interview. So the first question is, what's your biggest pet peeve as a driver? And you know, it could be passengers come out at the last second.
Yeah, I like to see toes on curb when I pull up. If someone takes 5 or longer minutes to get in, it's obviously wasted time. I guess my pet peeve is when I get a ping at 2 a.m. and I pull up to a house and there's no lights on and there's nobody that comes out.
They fall
You
asleep
know.
drunk on the couch, and
Who knows?
why didn't you wake me up?
You know, no phone call, no text. You know, nothing rouses them. So I get my $3 and I go on. But
Yeah.
that is probably my biggest irritation is the cancels.
Oh, wow. So what's like a crazy story, a crazy experience?
I think the funniest one so far was I picked up 3 ASU students in the entertainment district and was just taking them a couple miles to an apartment. But we pulled up to an intersection with a turn lane, and the girl in the back rolled down the window and started singing the song that was on the radio of the car next to us.
Oh.
So the guy sitting in the passenger seat turned it up, and they started seat dancing to the music while we were waiting at the red light.
Huh?
And she hollers at him, "You're so cute. Can I sit in your lap?"
Oh.
And he hollers back, "Is that all you want to do?"
Oh.
And
Very
the light
direct.
turned green, and I pulled away. It's like I could be these kids' grandfather.
Yeah.
And so the 2 other girls in the back were laughing so hard they could barely breathe at that point.
Oh, wow.
And the one that was, behind me started playing the recording back that, of course, she was making on her phone of this whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And she says, "Oh, my God, that was a cop."
Oh.
It was a fully marked Scottsdale patrol car and a patrol officer in uniform. That's got to be the funniest one. So
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I bet that cop was just pickled or tickled pink. Yeah.
I think as long as they're in my car,
That's hilarious.
they have humor. If they're driving, not so much.
Thank God she didn't jump out and hop in the back seat. Like, whoop, whoop.
So, and the worst one was I've only had to call EMS once to get a passenger out of my car.
Oh, really?
And they looked at him. They dragged him out, gave him ammonia, and he was like, "Where am I?" And they finally
wow.
said, "If you can walk into your house, you can sleep here tonight."
Oh, wow.
And he made it.
Oh, wow.
So he made it.
That's crazy. Yeah, we definitely, as drivers, deal with a lot of drunk people. And any pukers?
I've had to clean the car 5 times in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
7,000 some rides. So that's
Yeah.
not bad odds.
I always carry like a QT or a Circle K cup. Boop, here.
I have some.
Hold this.
I have some hospital emesis bags
Oh, wow.
made for puking in all the door pockets, and probably 10 have needed those and hit them without
Really?
making a mess.
Oh, wow.
I don't count those. If
Yeah.
they didn't use them or didn't hit them, then that was a cleanup.
Oh, wow. I have almost 9,000 rides. I've had 4 pukers where I was able to pull over in time.
Right.
But one of them used the cup. So I've never had to really clean anything up.
Okay.
I would say probably the biggest one that I've had to clean up is fast food. They leave the French
Nacho
fries.
cheese is
little
Terrible.
crumbs from their burrito. Oh, man, just
Yeah.
it's like, look, this isn't a diner; it's a ride
Yeah.
share. You know.
Yeah, and grease on on upholstery is hard.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gotten good at cleaning upholstery.
Yeah. I always get
So-
nervous whenever they're like wiping their hands and they have food. I've pretty much moved to like a no food policy, or if you do have food, don't eat it in the car.
Yeah.
If it's a short ride, and typically on long rides, it's, you know, like, hey, I don't want to charge you a cleaning fee.
Right.
If you mention that, typically they're like, oh, okay.
Well, I discovered there's a 24/7 detailing service called Champion Detailing Services, and I've used them
Really?
several times.
Wow.
You know, I'm done for the night if they
Oh, yeah.
puke in my car, but
That's
at
the
least
worst is like,
they'll clean it for me, and then I'll be dry in the morning and able to drive somewhere.
yeah. And that's one thing that I wish passengers knew is like the puke, it's not the biggest thing, you puking. The cleanup, I certainly don't want to deal with bodily fluids, but you're going to shut me down for the rest of the
Right,
night because the
right.
car's going to stink.
Right.
And then, you know, like I have a certain goal. Typically it's like $200-300 a night,
Right.
depending on how many rides I do. And if you puke in my car, I mean, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then I have to deal with it the next day. Or I've never used a cleaning service, but it definitely, if I keep this up, I'll probably have to at some point in the future. So,
Yeah, you know, if it's during the day, I can just go home and clean it myself. I have everything
Yeah.
I need. But if it's, you know, 2 or 3 a.m., you know, I've got to get the car clean, or, you know, because I'm usually too tired to go home and spend another hour cleaning. at
Oh,
that
yeah.
time. So,
and it's night, and yeah, it just makes it a little bit difficult. So I guess like the third question I have is, what do you think in the rideshare world, what could be improved upon? Like, you know, like most people say pay or whatever, but or transparency, but in an ideal world that'd be great. But what do you think is like a couple of little things that would really make the experience for a driver?
well, I wish they had tell us when they changed the app.
Oh, yeah, like a
And-
little heads up.
Yeah, how do you use this new feature? Or
Mhm.
we are no longer using miles and time. We are giving you
Up
this
front.
up front, except, of course, if you take the, what's it called, where they give you a little
Search?
indication of multiple rides that are available. I
Yeah,
don't remember what they call that. Well, there's no upfront price on that.
yeah,
So I don't know. They should be using miles and time.
yeah.
And
So we're not doing the calculations, being distracted while driving, and
I use a number of different company gig rideshare companies, and they give you the estimated fare,
Mhm.
but it's based on miles and time.
yeah, yeah.
And then they adjust at the end of each ride for actual ride and time. That would be the way I'd like to see Uber do it.
Yeah. Do you
So-
do like drive-throughs ever? I find they are a total, unless I'm getting like a meal out of it. Typically, I try not to do it because the payout's what, 13 cents a minute on.
Well,
average
yeah, and they didn't
across
used to
all
pay
the apps,
really
so.
anything much.
Yeah,
do
it's
go
like an extra
through-
dollar.
Yeah, I do go through drive-throughs just to be nice,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten some decent tips because of it. So
Oh, that's good.
It's hard to guesstimate. You may get nothing out of it for a half hour sitting in line for you know, fast food at you know, midnight.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
You know, I've
Pretty much
gotten-
after midnight, I won't do them
Yeah,
at all, unless it's like a $20 tip up front.
yeah.
Because I always tell people, look, I gotta make sure that you don't leave French fries. And you know, like
Yeah,
if I wanted
yeah.
to do DoorDash, I would just do DoorDash.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of the nice things about a gig business is every driver can handle it the way they want to handle
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
Do you like long rides or short rides?
I'll take basically any ride especially the short rides are nicer if you're working on a streak or a
Yeah.
weekly bonus. Of course, that's when I get the long rides.
Y-
So
yeah.
when I need the money, that's when I get the short rides. But a saying I like someone else came up with was short rides lead to long rides. So I've gotten 2-minute ride from someone who wouldn't, couldn't get picked up,
Oh wow.
and then they were at a dollar store
Oh wow.
with a minimum ride,
Yeah.
and that took me to a ride from West Valley to Mesa Gateway Airport. So
Oh wow.
you can't predict
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's kind of like whenever the universe tells you you got 3 red lights in a row, maybe you should slow down. That's how I see it. I always try and make it, a positive. Well, maybe it's just the universe, and then you see like 2 or 3 cop cars, and you're like, yeah, the universe is looking out for me.
I missed
so.
that collision by 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Well, and another thing with other companies, because I do non-emergency medical, is I can show up at a dialysis clinic and they're not done yet.
Oh, yeah.
And, I might be sitting there a half hour.
Oh
There
yes.
is no way I'm going to leave someone that's getting dialysis to try to find another ride. I mean,
Oh, wow.
that is just not going to happen. So
Guilty of that.
I'll take a break.
Wow.
I'll irritate people on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't leave. And usually elderly person is feeling really bad because they're
You're
on
so much
dialysis.
nicer than me. I'm like, boop, 5 minutes. See ya.
No,
That's awesome of you,
there's there's opportunities to really screw up your karma if you're
Yeah.
mean to people.
Well, I've ran into situations where people are moving out of an apartment at
Right.
2 in the morning.
Okay.
2:35s is what I call them.
Uh-huh.
Because it's 2:35s. It's either the mom and the kids leaving the house, and you can only do the math. Like, dad came home drunk. Something happened. The kids are getting kicked out. I had these 2, probably 18, 19-year-old kids, and they had all their stuff on the street, and it packed the car. And I was like,
yeah.
if I don't do this, nobody else is going to do this.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just pack it in. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. They were going to their grandma's house.
Well, and that's the third irritation is when I pick up people that have someone that needs a child seat or a booster seat, and they're mad at me because I won't take them.
Oh,
it
yeah.
just absolutely
Yeah.
is never going to happen.
We don't have insurance, and like for the viewer, we can't have 10 people in the back. This is an XL. I can't take 10 people. If there's not a
Right.
seatbelt,
Right,
my insurance won't cover an accident.
right.
Sorry, that's just how it works out. Because they're not going to take pity on me. And honestly, I got to go home at the end of the day with this vehicle intact. So that's kind of how it works out.
Yeah.
And
That'll
I
work.
think, that's definitely something that we don't like to say no to, but we have to. We have rules to abide by.
Well,
So-
and the other side of that is what parent in the United States would
Yeah,
put their kid in a car
yeah,
without the proper safety equipment.
exactly.
So,
Like, we're going to carry that in the back. Like, we got luggage space requirements.
Right.
We get dinged if we have stuff in the car that's taking up space, and yeah. But I definitely applaud you for staying late for the medical stuff. Sometimes they'll do it, but typically it's like like you could have planned your day out a little bit better. That's how I justify it, but I
Yeah.
definitely carry a little bit of guilt whenever I do that. So that's awesome that you do that. That's not many people do that, but it's back to the karma thing. Sometimes you just do things that that passenger, nobody else is going to deal with that situation.
and I see a lot of drivers that complain about service dogs. And
Yeah.
I also do a contract for Valley Metro for their paratransit service.
Oh, okay.
So I see a lot of repeat customers that are blind and have guide dogs.
Oh, wow.
So I've got a blanket for the seats, and I'll take anybody's guide dog. I'll take anybody's dog. Actually, I prefer dogs over people most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
But there's no choice in taking a service dog, and a lot of drivers either don't understand that, although I don't know how, or they don't care.
Yeah.
And on the person that has the guide dog, that's a real problem for them.
Oh yeah.
So
If they don't have a, like if they're, you could tell it's just their personal dog. Typically, I take those passengers anyway because they'll leave you a good tip.
right.
Like $5 goes a long way. That covered my gas, in many cases. Sometimes it doesn't, but, especially over the summer, but it helps out. And so if you're just friendly towards them, you can definitely tell that they appreciate it. So.
And I'm on Uber Pet as well. So
Oh, wow. Cool.
I see pets, 3 or 4 times a month.
Oh,
it's not
that's
that
cool.
much.
Yeah.
I see a lot
It's
more
not
guide
that
dogs.
frequent enough. Yeah.
Right.
I would definitely say that. But if you do have a dog viewer, a couple of bucks really
Yeah.
helps. Yeah.
It always helps.
My biggest issue is probably the butt stamp on the floor, like the stink stamp that dogs.
Oh.
Because sometimes only in one case where it was like, smells like dog butt. And then you're
Well,
like,
thankfully I haven't run into that.
yeah.
I do have cleaning supplies that I could deal
Yeah.
with it, but I haven't run into
I have
it.
rags, and I think most drivers should carry an aerosol of some type for,
Upholstery cleaner will
Yeah.
clean up. But,
yeah.
Aerosol upholstery cleaner will clean the French fry and greases from fast foods as well as anything else. Is
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hey, that's pretty much it. I really appreciate your
well,
time.
enjoyed meeting, and I'm an admin for the Underground Rideshare Delivery, Phoenix, Arizona. Where
Okay.
it's a
And that's a
a
Facebook page.
Facebook page.
Oh, wow.
And
All
it's
right.
for Phoenix drivers, and their
Drivers?
other admins are pretty adamant that we should be nice to each other,
Yeah.
and so it's a very civil group.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we can't disagree. It just means you can't use a lot of expletives
Yeah.
because those get removed.
Sometimes, yeah, it's like trying to do interviews with drivers, it's like, hey, I understand you have like some hardships, the pay or whatever, but that's for this channel, I can't really do anything about it. And
Right.
I think anyone that does use this service, they themselves can't really do anything about it other than tipping, which is
Right.
helps us. Back to tips. What's your best tip?
So one night a drug dealer gave me $50.
Oh, wow.
Which was, drug dealers tip well.
Yeah, they do.
But the best
Mine was
one-
500.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
ask questions,
Wow.
but I definitely knew.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was,
someone that's
a different
totally sober
experience.
at 3 a.m. has a backpack with them, and
Yeah.
I know what's going on.
Or it smells. Yeah, I've had that passenger where it just reeks, and you're like, oh, that's why we stopped at your friend's house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my best one so far is I had a father who he said his son was in the Navy, and I said, oh, what does he do?
I'm a
Where is he
Navy guy.
stationed? Okay.
That's cool.
And yeah, I was a sonarman, and I sailed around the ocean
Oh, wow.
irritating whales.
Oh, awesome.
So, but he said he had just been assigned to Yokosuka, Japan. I
Boom!
says, well, okay,
Yeah.
let me tell you about Yokosuka.
Yeah.
Things to see, things to do. And he gave me a $100 bill at the end of that ride.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome.
He was great.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the conversation anyway.
Yeah.
And the other best military rider was a girl that had gotten out of the Navy a week before. She was with
Oh,
two of her
wow.
girlfriends. They were out celebrating.
Yeah.
And I said, well, great. What did you do in the Navy? She says, well, I was an aviation bosun mate.
Oh,
And I
wow.
says, wow, were you a yellow shirt? And she says, well, yeah.
That's awesome.
And she says, but then I became a plane captain. I said, whoa, you
Oh,
got
wow.
a brown shirt.
Oh, wow.
And two of the girls with her had no clue what any of that
Oh,
meant.
yeah. Yeah.
I says, well, what that means is the name of the pilot is on the airplane, and her name was on the airplane.
Oh, wow.
And that airplane belongs to the plane captain, and the pilot better not screw it up, or that pilot may have a problem getting a flight again because the plane captain takes care of the airplane.
Wow. I didn't even know that. And I
yeah.
was on an aircraft carrier, so that's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, don't mess with the plane captains.
Oh, wow.
But she was transitioning to civilian status, and that's not an easy move.
Oh, it's tough. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a whole different world.
So,
Whole different world. It's a lot of adjustment. I think the biggest thing for me, I got out in 2005 and just realizing like nobody knew what was going on,
right.
and it was like, and then you don't want to tell anyone because like back then it was before, the VA really recognized PTSD and all these guys. All you saw on the news was this person came home and like murdered a whole bunch of people, and it was like, well, yeah, it's a shell shock in and of itself to go from that uniform, everything, we're all in the crap of it, and to civilian world where people are complaining about their salad being too cold, and it's just like you can't relate to those people, and you feel alone and isolated. And I'm a huge advocate for people. I lost 4 people my first year, people on my ship from suicide. So for me, it's definitely anyone that goes through that, it hits home.
I was on a
pretty hard
destroyer
for
with
me.
300 people, and
Oh,
we
wow.
had a couple
That's
suicides.
tight news. Yeah.
So,
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's it. It's military is too much of a shock for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
unfortunate, but
Well, hey, thank you so much for
thanks,
your
and
service.
Good luck for your channel. And
Yeah,
we look
thanks.
forward to seeing it come out.
Yeah. We'll exchange contact information, and then I'll let you know whenever it pops out into the universe.
Excellent.
All right. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you.